Now we're going to make a gumbo. We're going to do a chicken and sausage gumbo. We're going to start off by browning off some of the sausage, and then we're going to add the chicken, and we're going to pull that out, and then we're going to start the roux up after that. So we put in about a tablespoon or so of the olive oil, and we're going to go ahead and throw in some of these turkey kielbasa. It's a low-fat sausage. It's a lower-end fat sausage. It's a little healthier. So we're going to go ahead and brown this off for a couple minutes, get a good brown, have it render some of the fat. We'll pull that out, we'll brown off the chicken, and then we'll start our roux. Okay, now it's been a couple minutes. We went ahead and got this sausage. It's good and browned off right now, as you can see. And I'm using a 16-quart stock pot. That's about 4 gallons. You maybe get by the 12 or 3 gallons because you want to have a lot of room to work with when you're making this. We're going to probably make about 2 gallons of soup when we're done. So now we're going to pull out these sausage pieces, and then we're going to put the chicken in and brown that off. We're going to save this for later. Add it in at the end. Now we've taken out the sausage. We're going to go ahead and add some of this chicken in here. It's about 6 breasts. They're boneless, skinless breasts. That's a little bit less fattier. It's a little bit more healthy. It's going to go with that turkey kielbasa, which has got about a third less fat, to make it a little bit healthier alternative to our gumbo. All right, so now we're just going to brown these breasts here. Just put one side in, and we're going to go ahead and get that in the grease we had for the renderings from the sausage. And then we're going to turn these breasts over. Just brown them. We don't have to cook them. We're going to add them later to get plenty of cooked. We're just going to try to take a little bit of flavor, a little bit of fat out of the breast, although there's not a lot of fat. But if you're using thighs, they have a significant more amount of fat and flavor. So now we got these. So we're going to go ahead and let them brown for 2 or 3 minutes on each side. We're going to pull them out. We're going to start our roux. Now it's been two more minutes. We're going to go ahead and pull these chicken breasts out here. We're going to throw them in with the sausage. Now, no, they're not done. They're just browned lightly. In some parts, not even browned at all. But we're going to go ahead and pull these out. And we're going to put these in a little bit later. And we're going to start the roux. Now, it's going to be a little tricky. There's a little bit of water in here from the roux. But because I'm not using a cast iron skillet, and we're going to use this big, heavy stock pot, I'm not going to really make a tawny, really dark roux, which is really, I think most people in New Orleans know how to make a roux or a tawny roux. Takes a little bit longer to do a tawny roux. You got to stay over the pot a little bit more. So we're just going to make a nice golden brown roux, making sure not to darken it too much. We're going to keep the renderings in here. We're going to have 1 cup of oil, and we're using our Tuscan garlic oil, which is going to give the roux a little bit more texture and flavor. Or you could use a light olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, canola oil, whatever oil you like. Then we're going to go ahead. We're going to start this roux with a cup of flour. So now this is where the roux is going to start in. We added the oil. It's pretty hot right now. We're going to add a cup of flour. I'm going to add about half of it, whisk it, and the other half, whisk away probably 5 to 10 minutes, maybe as long as 20 minutes, till it locks up and gets a nice golden brown, making sure not to get it too dark. And if we need to add a little more flour, we will. The important thing is not to burn it. Keep moving. All right, so this roux has been going for about 10 minutes now. We haven't added probably maybe another 2 tablespoons of flour and as you see it's boiling. It probably shouldn't be this hot, but I got a close eye on it. I'm scraping all the stuff off the side that's burnt. That's going to be some more delicious flour. So now this is starting to thicken really nice. We're going to start adding the vegetables to it. The Trinity, they call it down south. And that's basically onions, celery, and bell pepper. So we're going to go ahead and add the celery first, and then the bell pepper, and then the onions. And once I add the vegetables, it's going to stop the roux from cooking anymore. All right, it's been a few more minutes now, and the roux is looking really good. It's not burning. It's starting to turn a little golden brown. It's not going to be as dark a gumbo as some might have. If you have a cast iron skillet or a little bit more patience, you could probably get this a little bit darker. But we're making sure not to burn it. We got the flour good and cooked out. It looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and start adding the vegetables to it now. We're going to go ahead and add the celery first. Then we're going to add the bell peppers, and it's going to stop cooking once we have the vegetables in here, and it's going to clump up. It's going to become real doughy, real thick. But that's what we're looking for. All right, we put about 4 or 5 ribs of celery in here. We went ahead and put, I guess, 1.5, 2 bell peppers, and about 3 or 4 Vidalia onions, depends on the size. So we're going to go ahead and work these together like this, And it's gonna thicken up real good. We're gonna let it cook for a few more minutes. It's actually, the roost's probably stopped cooking. And we're gonna fold these in and add a little bit of water, a little stock to it. So now it's been just a few more minutes and we've stirred this, our little trinity here. We got that and the roux looking really good together. It's starting to stick a little bit. So now we're gonna add a little bit of our stock. Now you can add chicken stock or vegetable stock, but since we're gonna add a little bit of water to it. And then we're gonna add a little bit of chicken base. It's a little bit cheaper than buying cans of the chicken stock. Now, I know it doesn't look like much right now. But we're gonna stir it up, and it's gonna start to take on some texture and some color here in a minute. So that was 1 gallon of water, and I'll probably use about a third a cup of chicken base, to make my chicken stock. We're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of our Italian seasoning, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper, and 3 bay leaves. We're gonna have 3 of them. We're gonna count them, make sure we get 3 of them out on the backside. So we're gonna go ahead and give that a stir, and I'm gonna add a little bit more chicken flavor to this, and in about 20 minutes, when we bring it up to a boil, we'll bring it down to a simmer, let it sit for about an hour, and then we're gonna add this chicken and sausage back to it, and have it simmer probably for another hour. So now we're adding a little bit of chicken base. We're gonna make our own chicken stock. It's about a third of a cup per gallon of water, whatever the ingredients. I find that the chicken base doesn't have quite as much salt in it sometimes, and I'm able to, it's a lot cheaper than buying the stock in the little cans, the 15-ounce cans. Now you can buy them in the quart also too, but we went ahead and used a gallon of water and a third a cup of base. It's gonna give us some more chicken flavor for this gumbo. And it's just starting to heat up a little bit. We're gonna give it a good stir. We're gonna put the lid on it. Probably give it about 15 minutes, get it to a rolling boil, and then we're gonna reduce and simmer for about an hour, and then we're gonna add this back in. We're gonna go ahead and sit this in the refrigerator right now so we can keep it out of the danger zone. And now it's been about 15 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and reduce the heat. So now we went ahead and we're getting ready to add the sausage and the chicken back into the gumbo. All these delicious flavorings we're gonna add back in. Let it cook for about another 45 minutes or so. And then we'll taste it, and salt and pepper to taste after that. Go ahead and kick it down to a medium-low heat. So now it's been about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. Everything's been added in, and right now we're gonna go ahead and stir and get a little flavor for salt and pepper, because we're gonna do that to taste. So we're gonna go ahead and just get a little, wow, that almost doesn't need anything. We're gonna give another couple teaspoons of salt, maybe another 2 teaspoons of salt. Probably wasn't gonna go very far in that 2.5 gallon batch. You can half this batch if it's too much. We got a lot of hungry mouths to feed around here. Plus, we go ahead and save this in a day or two. This is gonna be more delicious than it was today. And we're gonna give it a little more fresh cracked black pepper, maybe another 2 teaspoons. But that's it. We don't wanna go ahead and get too salty or peppery, and we're gonna give that a stir. We're gonna go ahead and probably shut this off. We're gonna let it coast. We got some rice coming up on the way, and we're gonna go ahead and get back to you in about another 15 minutes. Now that we finished the gumbo, we had a little bit of rice and some gumbo and some French bread, and all we have to do now is make it disappear.